Week 7 discussion board. The three tax avoidance types I'm going to discuss tonight is tax postponement, income shifting, and tax shelters. So tax postponement is when an individual or corporation utilizes tax laws to defer their tax liability until a future date. An example of this is postponement of capital gains taxes, which is an example that was provided in the Stiglitz reading. This can be done by manipulating when the actual sale date of a large asset takes place or is finalized. And this can reduce tax liability for the current year or years, as capital gains taxes would not kick in until the finalization of that sale occurs. A sale of such an asset can be set up to not be finalized, as I mentioned, for years or even until one's death, which is also an example in the Stiglitz reading. And in this case, when it's deferred until someone's death, this could potentially cause the heirs to not owe anything in capital gains taxes. In this particular case, I do not know anyone who has taken advantage of this type of tax avoidance. The next type of tax avoidance is income shifting. And income shifting can take a few different shapes, but a simplistic way of explaining it is when an individual or corporation moves income or profit from one party to another to reduce their tax liability. An example of an individual shifting income is when parents shift income to their children who are in a lower marginal tax rate. And this was an example in the Stiglitz reading that was a part of this week's reading. I have seen this type of method used mainly by individuals who own their own businesses, and then they put a portion of the business in their child's name so that they can reduce their tax liability. Corporations can shift income by loaning money to itself, say to start an operation in another country, and charge a rate that would cut into their profits, or in other words, a taxable income, because the corporations are taxed on their profits. Which in turn reduces their tax liability. And this was the example that was provided in one of the videos this week, the Why Does Starbucks Pay So Little Taxes video. And I did not know this really until now, and it was actually very interesting to learn about. And the last one I'll talk about is tax shelters. And tax shelters can take many different forms. But in essence, a tax shelter is a method used to reduce tax liability by lowering taxable income. And the most common tax shelter, which most of us probably take advantage of ourselves, is some investment and retirement accounts, such as 401ks, some forms of IRAs, and other similar accounts, which are tax-deductible contributions. And the gains on those investments are tax deferred until you withdraw at a later date. So again, this is a type of tax shelter. This type of tax shelter is something we encounter all the time, in which I even take advantage of myself. So thank you very much for watching my presentation this week. I look forward to watching yours.